Hooked on Vaping, solutions to stop teen use.
I'm Griselda Satino in the KTAR newsroom, and while dispute remains about whether or not vaping should be banned or whether or not it's safe to use, there is consensus that among teens who are vaping, there should be more regulation and education. Throughout the series, we spoke to school administrators, we also spoke to researchers, doctors, and we asked them what are some of the solutions that they think should be done to try to address this problem, and here's what they said.
Changing laws like age limits, access to certain types of components like the flavored components, and look at the national recommendations from the CDC and the Surgeon General, and then work off of those recommendations.
Parents need to set expectations for their students and their kids at the home that this is not something that we find acceptable. We need responsible business owners to ensure that these devices are only being sold to who they're legally allowed to be sold to.
I don't think a complete ban on e-cigarettes is going to be useful at this point because kids are just going to get illegal products, and that makes it even potentially more dangerous because what you don't know what is going into them.
I really don't know how our country gets a handle, not only our country but the world gets a handle on this problem, but it needs to be regulated in some way, shape, or form so we at least know what is going into these cartridges.
Before I started working on this vaping series, I had heard from a number of school administrators that were saying they were worried about vaping becoming such a huge epidemic in their schools. And I wanted to see if there's any data that supports this. So I reached out to school districts in the East Valley, and the data does show that this is a growing problem. There are more and more students that are getting caught with vaping products, e-cigarette products on school campuses. And then I wanted to take this a step further and reach out to researchers. Is this a problem that's going on statewide? And then also talk to health experts. What are some of their concerns? And the bottom line is what I took away from all of this is that, you know, while over the last few years we have been making progress, we have been getting more teens to stop using tobacco, well, turns out that this vaping epidemic has really, just made things worse. All that progress that was done is being unmade by this growing crisis, this growing problem of teens using e-cigarettes.
Here's our top story.
KTAR News, 92.3 FM, Arizona's news station.